And freedom of expression is about tolerating the views that you don't like from someone you might not like. This is the burning issue on the happy world of 5FM radio, bringing you hot, smoldering topics on a weekly basis. Your participation is important.
That is the voice of my friend from the grave, Matteo Perry. We started this station together in 2003, and I'm back again in here. Welcome. This is live from 5FM, and we connected to Muchinga Radio, Spice FM, ZIFM, iWeb Platinum Radio, Isunga Radio, Katete with my cousins there and live on BMTV. I am Frank Mutubila. Welcome to Burning Issue. The importance of the media to governance cannot be overemphasized. Hence, the need to regulate it to ensure, among other things, professional and factual presentation of information on various governance issues. On the program today, and for the first time, we feature DG for IBA, Webster Malindo. First, we look at a number of issues pertaining to IBA and the media. As usual, we start with the message of the morning. The media serves as a backbone of modern society, acting as a primary vehicle for transmitting information, shaping public perception, and fostering global connectivity. It goes far beyond the simple entertainment, profoundly influencing daily decisions, mainly political discourse and cultural development. This is an important responsibility which my guest has, and he relates to other players. Welcome to Burning Issue.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Tubila. It's a pleasure to be here.
Your nostalgic, days, when you look back at the past, what memories, do you have?
I think I would say, Ambassador, that it was really an absolute honor, a privilege to have been part of the Post newspapers years back. I did spend, straight from university, I went to practice as a reporter at the Post for 8 years before I decided to go into corporate communications in the corporate world, where I had been for a while until I came back, although on the regulatory side, I came back last year, as you might know, into this role that I currently occupy. But I have fond memories. We did quite a lot of work. Our approach, I believe, was more the kind of crusading journalism. We were focused more on driving news and information that was much more aligned to the broader public interest.
Excellent. Why, leave the comfort of the corporate world, international civil servant, to come and take up a job, which I only describe as thankless?
Well, Ambassador, it's a fair question. And as we, obviously, I cannot compete in terms of how much you've done, Ambassador, yourself. In the last, you've been a professional in for what, almost
56 years, almost 60 years.
Right? So I've pretty much done also, maybe I'm heading towards, 30 years.
You'll get there.
Of working. And I did get to a point where I was reflecting, how else can I contribute to my country of birth. And as you know, I had been outside Zambia until I got into this role. And I did put a lot of thought before considering to put my heart for this role. But it was really informed by the need for me to come and apply all the experience that I have gathered through my international corporate work, and apply that experience and my skills to the betterment of my country.
Excellent. I did, read the message, there, about the responsibility of us in the media. Considering that there are many, players with different, interests, how can this be achieved that we all tangle together and ensure that we're responsible media people, knowing that we've got a huge responsibility of ensuring that our people make an informed decision, especially on governance issues?
Yes, Ambassador, and forgive me, I'll keep referring to you for some time.
That's okay.
Because I think you are in the generation that was formative in terms of the media industry in our country. As we achieved independence, you've seen it you've seen it through. No question about that. What I would say, Ambassador, and you probably agree that obviously there has been an evolution of the media industry itself, right? I think I remember even when I started myself as a reporter at the Post, if I traveled in remote areas, there was then no internet. I would have to write my article on a piece of paper and send via fax, right?
Yeah.
And so, but now, everything is agile, so agile, Ambassador, like, you can even speak to your phone and, and write the story through your speech. And, from speech, it will go to text. And then now even AI can help, polish
can
up
help you,
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. But, all that is good in terms of technology. All this that has happened is good. I think we have a lot more graduates of media studies as we speak. And therefore, I would say that I think we, in terms of the human resource in media professionals, I think there's no lack of those resources. We have seen, Ambassador, also the media, the broadcast sector itself has grown. As you know, from your days of ZBS, ZNBC, the first private station here was Phoenix, commercial station was Phoenix in 1996, 30 years ago. Today, as we speak, Ambassador, we are talking about a broadcasting sector with a landscape of 259 stations.
Amazing.
201 radio stations, including 5 FM, here where we are, and 58 television stations. So you can imagine also the weight of responsibility for us as a regulator. So to answer our question is to say, Ambassador, the media is always going to be at the center of whatever happens, because information is important in many ways. People make decisions based on information that is available. But also media, then are placed with a huge responsibility of ensuring that there's credibility to their work. Because also information credibility is what builds trust in the public.
Absolutely.
And so I think as a regulator, we also place emphasis around the integrity of information that ends up on the airwaves. And this is why Ambassador, I'm sure we'll get the opportunity to speak about it.
Yeah.
We've put out guidelines specific to how coverage of elections should be conducted by the stations, but all that speaks to the need for the media professionals to stick to the standards of good journalism, which is, being fair, being truthful, being accurate, being balanced and all those elements. So I think that's how I would answer your question.
Absolutely. My guest is Webster Malindo, who is the Director General of, IBA. As usual, we break for a piece of music, and when we come back, we'll go in the thrust of our discussion this morning. But I need to pay tribute or thank some people, and I'm going to dedicate this song to them. First of all, I'm dedicating the next song. I'm going to introduce it to my colleagues at Miracle Life in Miracle Church this Saturday with Brave Men Conference. It is amazing. I addressed the conference. Was one of the speakers last year. It's just amazing. So all the brave men, this is going to be your song. And my good friends at Kawata Orphanage. As you know, I am a senior, orphan, and I'll be celebrating my 74th birthday. Yeah, not bad. 74. On the 13th of June, although my birthday is on the 16th. So my good friends are waiting for me. And let me also thank Trade Kings, for, putting in some amazing stuff, and I can't, go into detail. So here's Burning, Bush from the professor or prophet himself, Siame. I'm just a simple son of a reverend, with so many prophets in the Christian faith. Enjoy it.
New vibes with BMTV. Get ready, Zambia, because BMTV is about to bring you the hits with local stories, drama, comedy, and news that is all about you. Local vibes only. Catch stories from Lusaka to Livingston, towns to villages, Zambian stories told by Zambians. Drama and entertainment, from townships to trending shows, we have the best local content. News that you care about, local news, national pride, and what's happening in your hood. Your stories, our spotlight. We feature you, your talents, and your passions. Tune in now and let's vibe, Zambia. BMTV, Zambia's light, Zambia's voice.
ask you my first question on the thrust of our discussion, DG. There's quite a bit of AI in that song, and a number of songs now. There's a lot of AI. My question is, who controls the content? Who regulates the content? I'm conscious, that there's regulations now in some countries, because some of the words are injuries. I don't want to draw you into this political song, which is ruffled feathers, for the lack of a better way of putting it. But who controls the words? Especially if the words are injuries, where do I go?
So, Ambassador, it's a very important matter. As a matter of fact, even ourselves as a regulator, we are looking into how we can achieve responsible and professional and ethical use of AI. And so we are in the process of developing, guidelines, particularly to the sector that we regulate, which is the broadcasting industry. And we will engage with the industry as we develop those guidelines. At the same time, we are encouraging the broadcast stations themselves to start to think about putting in place in-house policies and guidelines on how they can use AI responsibly and ethically and professionally in their work. Ambassador, we are at the forefront as a regulator, encouraging broadcast stations to adopt technology in how they do their work, because technology is really, you will agree with me that it has reshaped how content is first gathered, is packaged, and also how it is distributed or disseminated or broadcast, right? And it has made it easier. Technology has made it easier. You can just be in your bedroom on your couch, and you can watch anything on your phone, and so we live with that reality. And AI has also added another element where it is helping to take care of routine tasks, and so that maybe those who are working can focus much more on things that require human intervention, but mundane kind of task can be taken care of AI. Even here, I believe the team here, I'm sure they use AI in their programming structure and all that, and so it's a good thing. At the same time, we are saying that let AI, especially when it comes to content, let it not replace the human element. Because Ambassador Frank, only the human element can intervene to say, look, this is factual, this is real, this is not real. But if left to AI alone, we risk, broadcasting even sometimes content that is not reality. And so we are saying that the broadcast stations, we have heard already, not just the last 24 hours, I think our permanent secretary has been speaking to something that relates, that borders potentially on AI-generated content.
Absolutely.
So what we are saying to the station is that, and also this now comes to the issue of information verification, because now also you can use the same AI to verify whether this is AI-generated content or not. So what we are saying, Ambassador, is that by all means, adopt the use of technology and AI, but do so responsibly, professionally, ethically, and also do not replace the human element.
Right.
We still need that, especially when it comes to broadcasting.
Excellent. My interviews, DG, usually, a conversation, but, allow me, that to move methodically, like, President HH would say, because, the subject is technical. I don't want to leave out, most of the issues, especially in relation to the season that, we have entered right now.
Yes.
DG, your major preoccupation is to license and regulate radio and television. Before I ask you about the responsibilities of regulation, why hasn't your assignment not been extended to print? That's a question that a number of people have been asking.
Yes, we get a lot of that question, including now online, online media. So, Ambassador, the honest answer here is that first of all, broadcasting by its nature requires a certain measures. First of all, when it comes to radio broadcasting, this is because at the moment it's based on available frequency, FM frequency, and so that it is also the spectrum of the available frequency for radio also is managed effectively, so that when it is allocated, it is also allocated in a very fair way. And so we work collaboratively with ZICTA, because ZICTA, they manage frequency, broad, frequency, including not just for broadcast, aviation frequency, telecommunications frequency. And so we work very collaboratively with them. As and when there is availability of new broadcast frequencies, we'll sit down with them and they will give us the areas where there's new frequency available, and then we put out adverts and we invite those who want to get into broadcast. There's also, obviously, on the TV side, we work with Topstar because they are the main carrier of television signal. Again, Topstar themselves will tell us if their bandwidth is available to carry more stations, and then we'll allocate. So it is also IBA is there really again to manage the allocation of both radio and television frequency. So that's primarily why we regulate that. Having said that, print itself, I would say that I wouldn't say that they operate outside the law, because there are other subsidiary laws that they have to respect. There are laws around defamation, and we're not saying that as in a negative way, but we're just saying that they are also bound by the law. So, for instance, they will not report on matters that border on if the matters compromise national security. They are bound by certain laws. They are not allowed to say anything. You cannot allow anyone to come into the newspaper and make all sorts of allegations without having to answer to the law. So they also have some parameters when it comes to legislation, but we do not have the mandate to regulate print media for the reasons that I have mentioned. We are there really to manage a limited resource, which is frequency, broadcast frequency, and whether it's in the form of radio frequency and television signal.
Run us through the process of getting a TV, radio licenses. What are the the qualifications, and you talked about the frequencies. Tell us again why at times people are told that the frequencies are not available.
Well, yes, thank you, Ambassador. So the IBA licenses stations using a combination of legal provisions and internally developed procedures. The licensing process itself is provided for in the IBA Amendment Act number 26 of 2010. It's covered from section 19 to 23. In order to obtain a license from the IBA, applicants are required to, do the following. First of all, you have to wait until the IBA publishes a notice, and usually it's in daily papers, where it will invite members of the general public to apply for a broadcast service in Zambia. as stipulated. The advert will stipulate the details, whether it is for radio frequency or television, signal. And so once the advert has run, then those who are interested can submit their applications to the IBA with a set of required documentation. And the criteria really involves submission of the following. I will run you through the list in the interest, but I'll also point your audience to the website that they can look at for more details. But there has to be a cover letter, the application letter itself. Then you have to fill in an application form, which can be downloaded from our website, which is www.iba.org.zm /application form. And then you have to put a business plan, because we have to be sure about your sustainability, commercial sustainability. And then those who are applying for commercial stations, they have to submit a certificate of registration and shareholder certificate from PACRA. And then also commercial applicants should submit curriculum vitae, resumes, and certified copies of IDs for both the shareholders and the beneficial owners. For community applicants, these should be registered as cooperatives or faith-based or NGOs. And community station applicants should submit registration from a certificate of registration from the Registrar of Society. And there's also accompanying the Constitution and certificate of registration from PACRA for a limit, if you are limited by guarantee. Again, with accompanying articles of association, a programming schedule that reflects the nature of the station, and there will be a stipulated non-refundable application fee. So, Ambassador Frank, by and large, that is the process.
Excellent. When you issue a license, so let me say this, before you issue a license, are there any pressures, let me specific, political pressure, for example, that would say, you can't give this person a license, because it's not politically right? Do you face any outside pressures?
I would say no. The process for licensing is very transparent. It is run between the management team and the board, but largely by the board. So we'll do, obviously, as management, the admin work. But then there will be an evaluation committee that looks at the applications. And there's a scoring it's an internal process, but there's a scoring kind of grid. And so that evaluation committee will look at certain requirements. And then the applicants are scored. And if there's a threshold that they should meet, which I cannot disclose, then once those that are considered to have met this threshold have been identified, then they are taken for further review by the licensing and compliance committee of the board. Then if there are any issues, then the licensing committee will send back the list again for review to the original evaluation committee. But if the committee is satisfied, then those applications, those who have been sort of shortlisted, they go to the main board. Then the main board also will make a determination and an assessment based on the recommendation from the committee. And then once that is done, then we announce publicly.
Right.
So,
you talked about the availability of frequencies. Let's talk about the non-availability of the frequencies. What are the contributing factors to that, DG, and why shouldn't you have limitless frequencies? And in saying so, I'm not an engineer at all, but shouldn't you use satellite facilities availability so that you're not restricted in terms of the availability of frequencies? Could you clarify that?
So FM frequency is a very special resource.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just managed like that.
Yeah.
I'm not an engineer or a technical person, but it has a process that involves actually the UN system. I'm sure you know the International Telecommunications Union is involved, including, I believe, the Africa Telecommunications Union, which works then with country sort of regulatory bodies, in this case both ZICTA and ourselves as IBA. And so ZICTA will manage all available frequency spectrum in the interest of allocation to telecommunications, for aviation, communication, and then also for broadcasting services. And so they will usually look into a number of factors, including the need for non-interference. Especially non-interference can be, for instance, broadcast frequency not interfering with aviation frequency, but also broadcasting frequency, especially in border areas, not interfering with neighboring countries' radio frequencies. So they factor in all that and many other, but largely also in terms of availability. But we'll also, when we engage with ZICTA, we would also look at the needs of the different parts of the country. So as you know, Lusaka itself, for instance, is considered largely concentrated when it comes to broadcast stations, and so is Copperbelt. Then we'd look at other areas where we see that there's need for more broadcast service, because also as the IBA, we want to drive diversity and pluralism in the sector. So we want also local language stations. So we are also interested in broadening access to radio stations across the country. So we'll look at the needs of different areas. When we assess, then we go to ZICTA to say we feel that we probably need a few more frequencies, and then they will determine whether that frequency is available.
Excellent. Before we talk about expectations, in terms of quality, programming, can somebody transfer the license? I mean, the factors at times when you get the license and you find that perhaps you didn't plan properly and you can't take off, and you want to get rid of the facility. Can you transfer the license, and I'm being diplomatic, can you sell the license, to somebody else?
No, you can't. You cannot do that because there's a process. We review the application. This is why we say that we even look at the CVs of the shareholders, because we also have to be satisfied. There's some clearance that we have to do in terms of the people behind the station. So you can't just exchange the license anyhow. There's a process. First of all, you have to reach out to us to say you have determined for this or that reason that you cannot run the station. Therefore, you maybe want to bring in new, maybe equity partners. There's a process. We'll ask you and we'll guide you. There's a process that has to be followed to do that. But the license, the broadcast license is not transferable anyhow. So there's a process if you want to change ownership, including if you want to change, you switch from community to commercial or from commercial to community. There's a process that we have to follow, and we'll follow through the same process that I mentioned earlier.
Is there any advantage, for one, who's got media background, to be the proprietor, of the station?
Does
it apply or should it apply?
It does not apply. But there are exclusions. For instance, political parties cannot own, stations, and also, those involved engaged in active politics cannot, own stations for obvious reasons. So, and so those are some of the exclusions. By and large, any law-abiding citizen should be able to qualify to own a broadcast stations.
What is the status of the ZNBC in all this? Being a public media. Are there distinctive differences from ZNBC to private community? Is ZNBC a special animal, so to say?
No, they are a public broadcaster. They've got that mandate to deliver broadcasting services to the public. And I believe their act defines why they exist, how they should function. And so maybe we may not speak much about them because they are also outside our regulatory remit. So we regulate.
Why is that the case?
Because that's how the law is at the moment.
Who regulates them?
And so they, I believe that they've got an act which also makes sure that they operate within the requirements of the ZNBC Act. But Ambassador, I must say that the president, the Republican president, President Hakainde Hichilema, in December last year, did assent to the new IBA Act number 25 of 2025. That new act is not yet effective. It's not yet been operationalized. But when it becomes effective, it will now allow IBA to regulate ZNBC through what is called ZNBC Charter.
It's important.
Yes.
How important is that development?
Well, because it is very important in terms of the fairness of the regulatory sort of environment, because we also do get we have visibility of sometimes some of the audiences or the public raising concern that perhaps they also see areas where they feel like they should have the ability to raise complaints. And I think now under the new act, there will be an opportunity for audiences or the public to actually also engage the IBA to say, okay, we have these concerns with this public broadcaster. And it won't just be ZNBC, it will be all other public broadcasters, including Zanis, Parliament TV, and any other public service broadcast stations. So we will have that regulatory mandate.
Community, station,
Yes.
self-explanatory, but, how much is the involvement, from the community?
By and large, the community stations are actually run and operated by local communities. And that's very important also. Ambassador, you are, a very solid broadcaster. So you know the effect of local nuances when it comes to broadcasting. I believe that's why even at ZNBC, where you spent most of your years, you had different categories of stations. Those that serviced kind of, that also brought in diversity and access to local languages. So for community media, these are very important. I believe out of the 201 stations that I mentioned, Ambassador, around 108 of those stations are community.
Yeah.
But they are very important and powerful. They are about the only source of information in those communities where they broadcast. But also, local voices are very important in talking about local issues.
Yeah.
And so they provide that platform for local voices, but also as a platform to deal with local issues. Proximity, ambassadors, is very important when it comes to news and things like that. So the only issue, so the community, in most cases, these are run by community people. And so it's the community people who form the board. We train those. It's the community people who actually sometimes are presenters. They use sometimes local people in the teaching profession, some teachers in the community. They actually run programs or shows. And so it's more, at that level. The only issue that we see with community stations is sustainability. A number of them have challenges when it comes to commercial sustainability. Remember, they also have bills to pay.
Yeah.
A number of them are adopting technology, internet. They're, there's cost to that. They have to pay, whether it's part-time, workers, all that. So we are working with different stakeholders to see how we can get to support them from a commercial sustainability point of view.
Yeah.
We have been engaging directly in recent times with the Ministry of Local Government to see that if there's a mechanism for community stations to have access to CDF funding, and I believe that it's an ongoing sort of discussion. But yes, we are looking at that. But for us, community media, is a big priority, and we want to see them to continue to thrive because information is very important for every one of us. And, in most cases in the communities, they are about the only available source of information.
Right. As a writer, to my earlier, passage, in terms of responsibility, what standards are you talking about, vis-a-vis how the station is being, managed? One of the key, if not the most key product of a station is a program.
Yes.
What are your expectations, from, programming, who should design the programs? What kind of, programs, and, what is your input, in that?
Yes, when we actually, Ambassador, one of our functions as the authority is to regulate standards and compliance. We enforce compliance to standards. Standards also include program standards, and that speaks to content standards. So some of the basics we do, especially for the community media, is to support them with training in most cases, especially for the people who run programs. Because for community media, as opposed to commercial stations, in most cases they have the ability to invest in more professionally trained media professionals, and so we don't see that from a quality of from the perspective of the quality of professionals who work in these stations. We don't see that as a challenge in the commercial stations. But because, Ambassador, in community stations, in some cases you find that it is just maybe someone who's just completed their high school, their secondary school. They've got a passion for radio or broadcasting, and then they start doing the work in the station. But what we do is now we work with different partners to give them some training. We've worked a number of times with the likes of BBC Media Action to do training. Sometimes ourselves, as the IBA, actually, when these stations are setting up, we train their boards, we train their management, and we train some of their staff before they start with their community broadcasting. We would say that I think one of the challenges we face, the community station face, is the high turnover. The moment these professionals in these stations are well trained, or they get a diploma in journalism, then they start to look for opportunities outside. So it is just that that challenge that we have, but we continue to retrain and train just to make sure that the standards are there. So you asked the question of how do we make sure that there are certain when a station, you'd have seen that one of the requirements to be submitted when applying for a license is a program schedule. Right. That will reflect the nature of the station. So usually we don't dictate the program schedule, but we'll set minimum standards, and those standards must be adhered to. There are no-go areas that we've issued, including in the new guidelines, that we've issued to the stations. Content should not border on hate speech, on things like tribalism, divisiveness, compromise national security, obscene content, all those things. We set, those standards very clear.
The quality of programming, even the schedule, I don't know how much monitoring, you conduct in a number of radio, stations, just playing music. They've got 2, 3, maybe, flagship, programs, and that's it. Don't you have an input in how many quality programs, a station should have?
No, we do actually. It's actually our day-to-day work, Ambassador. We actually have a compliance team within the IBA. So we have a team that purely, whose work is purely to monitor content and programming, and to ensure that the stations are delivering programs per what has been agreed, what has been submitted to us. We review that, and where we see deviation from those agreed program and schedules, and then we'll engage the stations. So we do monitor actually on a 24/7 basis. We monitor content. We are able to review, and if there's a complaint that maybe this station was just we understand during the watershed period. And maybe the resourcing there is a challenge. I think there's some flexibility, after 22 to early in the morning, 05, 06, likely most stations there will play music or recorded programs. But we expect that I think they should follow the program schedule, for the day from 6 to late in the night. And we actually monitor for compliance for that.
Right. You did allude, to the fact that there's no interference in the issuance of, licenses. But lately, one can see that there's interference in terms of, what is being, broadcast. P.S. Kawana, he's on record, as saying, I would like whoever, regulates this piece of music, to ban it. He's made reference to some programs. What is your relationship, with the ministry? How much do you enjoy the independence? It doesn't seem you do.
Yes, we have absolute independence. Of course, we fall under the Ministry of Information and Media from a structure perspective. But in terms of our day-to-day work, we work independently because, Ambassador, our work is purely driven by what is provided for in the IBA Act. So everything that we do every day, even when we write to a station on certain compliance issues, we will cite the relevant provisions of the law. So no one comes to tell us that do this and do that. We follow the law. So that's how we do our work. I think if we were to address the particular song, what we'll say is that we had already started our own process of reviewing because we picked it up. As I explained, Ambassador, we have a dedicated team that monitors content for compliance and all types of content, whether it's music or songs or advertising, radio shows, including the one we are on now. Someone is monitoring this to make sure I don't say, even if I'm the regulator, I don't say things that are outside, content compliance requirements. And so we had started reviewing that song in question. Even before the PS would have made the public statement. That's what I would say. So, and we did review the song independently, and upon assessment, we identified areas where we felt that the song could not continue being played in that original form. And we did engage with the relevant station, and the station itself did acknowledge our areas of concern, and we believe that they have since addressed those.
Right.
And we did not ban the song. Ambassador, again, to be clear, IBA has no jurisdiction over the music industry.
Right.
And we have no,
I got surprised.
we only get interested if a song has elements that breach content standards. So if a song contains obscenities, if a song is, has elements that can compromise our national security, if a song has elements that can erode our values and our culture as a nation, Ambassador, then we have to come in to protect the wider public interest. Yes.
And the Chungu, Xavier Chungu, former, Director General, issue, what pertained in this situation?
Again, we did not do anything. I know that it was written everywhere, but I believe, Ambassador, that we will not speak about the podcast issue. In any case, the matter is now before the courts of law. I believe he did appear ultimately on Millennium, on the show on Millennium Television. And so again, we did not issue any directives to end station.
Right.
Yes.
I know. Some of the stations may not like, what I'm going to say, in terms of approaching certain, topics. Wouldn't it be professional enough, for lack of a better way of saying it, if you're doing an interview, say, for example, a Xavier Chungu, just to say, DG, I am having, an interview with the former Director General of Intelligence. I don't know about that. I may do that. Not really. That I'm self-censoring myself.
Yes.
But as a patriot, why do I say this? I may be misunderstood. I've traveled quite a bit. I've read quite a bit. There's certain information that are in the interests of the country. And as a patriot, I think you have to make a judgment that you feel as an individual may not be, injuries. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Would you like to add a few pieces of meat, to that?
So, Ambassador, thank you for bringing this up. So again, the IBA Act allows us, if we're approached by a station or a staff of the station, if they are doubtful of the nature of content they are about to air, they are more than welcome to seek professional advice or an opinion from us, because we regulate content on the stations. So they are welcome to also proactively approach us to say, maybe they've already done the interview, to say, if they feel uncomfortable or somehow they're doubtful, to say, we have this recorded program. We have reviewed, we are not sure about this part and that part. They are more than welcome also to reach out to us. We can offer an opinion. But in such opinion, Ambassador, would not amount to a directive.
Absolutely.
So we will not dictate, but because we are the regulator that sets certain content standards, we are able to say, look, this area could be problematic, this one and that. It's exactly the same thing we did to the station that was playing the other political song. We identified the areas where we felt that those elements were actually going directly against the guidelines that we had just issued. So they were promoting hate speech, they were promoting tribalism, they were making allegations that could not be substantiated, and they were accusing people of practicing certain, vices without proof. And so we pointed the station to all those to say, these, go really, right in the face of what we've advised against. So could you please make these corrections? Or whoever produced the song, could you ask them to make those corrections? And until you do that, our directive is that you should refrain from playing the song.
Tommy, I come from the old school. A lot of people are saying, the standards of broadcasting, especially in terms of programming, have dropped, dramatically. Does this surprise you or worry you? You did point out that when you were a young reporter, you would write your material on a piece of paper. You did actually research, and it was a challenging, but again, I speak from experience. People say, I'm not the one who's saying it, that our quality of broadcasting, our quality of information transmission during that time, is much, much better than today, when these young broadcasters, a variety, they can go online and do, research. Where do you see the problem is?
Well, it's a difficult question to ask a regulator, Ambassador.
Yeah.
What I can say is that, look, on our side, our primary objective and preoccupation is that content that ends up on the airwaves for the stations that we regulate meets the minimum standards of what we've set out and what we've agreed and what is conditional to the continuous operations of the stations. And the stations are very clear of those conditions when it comes to programming or content standards. So those standards must be met. And as a matter of fact, as I said earlier, we do monitor on a day-to-day basis just to make sure that those set standards in terms of programming and content quality and standards are met always. So for us, that is our preoccupation. We can have a long debate on the quality. As it is said, Ambassador, usually it is said that the road to perfection is always under construction. We would say that would like to see, obviously, we are interested in seeing, broadly a media industry and in particular a broadcast industry that continues to aspire for quality in the work that we do, because it's very important. And I think we spoke to the issue of the need that, the public trusts media houses on the basis of the quality of information. And quality comes in many ways, including the integrity of information. And partly, Ambassador, why we've even given out these guidelines on coverage of elections is because we want to encourage our colleagues in the industry to continue to adhere to just those basic journalism standards, and we are not asking for anything outside of what the media professionals already ascribe to.
Two questions before we go to the guidelines. Some of the material broadcast may be injuries, to the recipients. What action, should those who feel they're injured, take? And also the listeners are at large, what role can they play, in enhancing, the operations of the station, or in this case, programming?
Yes. So where listeners or members of the public have complaints, especially around content or programming, there's a process that they'll follow. The standard process is that you can complain to the station, but not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. So also it is expected that the station will respond satisfactorily to you, the complainant, within 14 days. But if you as a complainant, you are not satisfied with the response, or if the station does not respond within 14 days, then you can escalate your complaint to the authority, to the IBA, for action. And then if the broadcaster fails to comply with the directive that the IBA will issue, when we've run through all this process, we can also, the IBA can obtain a compelling order from the High Court. And so what we encourage those who want to complain is to do the following. You make the complaint in writing and say what the grievance, that you have against the broadcast or the station you have. You say it. And you say also when the broadcast took place. You can say, if you remember the presenter, including their names and contact details, and state your name and contact details so that we can, we can follow up on the issue. So, Ambassador, I think that is the process that we follow. The last part of the question was, remind me, it was on the action. The last part on. So we, if we expect that stations should comply. And again, I've said that there are measures that we'll take if you don't comply. And it can lead also even to suspension or cancellation of the license. But in most cases, we want to resolve matters before they get to those stages. But in terms of the role of listeners as well, so we always encourage listeners also to be responsible, especially when they call in to the programs. We encourage them to be responsible, not to come here and make unsubstantiated claims or make wild allegations against others or anyone, injure either individuals or entities. We discourage that. Again, we encourage then the stations to make sure that their moderators and presenters are also well trained to guard against such. But at the same time, we also say that the radio station, the broadcast stations should also give the right for the public and audiences to be able to participate on the programs unhindered. Because there are times when some members of the public, they've complained that sometimes they find it difficult to access the stations, even when, especially for call-in programs. So again, we take this opportunity to say, especially in this season of elections, please do not bar, people who want to participate. These are their platforms. These are about almost the only platforms where they can publicly express their opinions and their views. Yes.
Leading to the question, the next question about the guidelines. Some politicians, especially politicians, have complained, of difficulties in accessing, coverage by private, stations, because some private stations are compromised. They've decided they cannot cover certain, people. Can the politicians, come, to you that who feel, they are finding it difficult to access certain, radio stations? Do you have any powers to address a situation, like this, which is going to be, prominent, during this, political, season?
Yes, Ambassador. The guidelines that we've issued, just to start with, they are consistent with both our act as IBA, which means that we can enforce these guidelines for adherence. But also the Electoral Code of Conduct by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, which is derived from the Electoral Process Act number 35 of 2016, also mandates media houses broadly to give fair access to all political parties or political contenders or those who are vying for elective political office. That is what, and also the ECZ can enforce that code of conduct.
Excellent. Would you run them on? Do you have the guidelines that you can run them through?
So
I think it's important. You can take out the salient, points.
So, I can speak to the actual guidelines that we set out. Sorry, just allow me to organize my documents here, but I can speak in to the summary of the provisions of the guidelines. So Ambassador, I want to start by saying that we have been proactive again to in developing these election. We're calling them election coverage guidelines. They have been designed to promote fairness, balance, accuracy, professionalism, and equitable access during the electoral period. They provide better clarity to broadcasters, political parties, candidates, and the public on expected standards of conduct. And again, we developed these guidelines through a rigorous process. They've also gone through the board. They were actually approved by the board. And so the guidelines cover the following key areas. Number one, fair and balanced election reporting. This is to ensure equitable and impartial coverage of all political parties and candidates. Number two, equitable allocation of airtime during broadcast, requiring broadcast stations to divide available advertising time on an equitable basis to ensure fair access for political parties and candidates during campaigns. Number three, the conduct of political interviews and debate. This should be done in a way that it promotes fairness, professionalism, and impartiality by broadcasters. Number four, broadcast of opinion polls. Ambassador, this one, I know it was a little bit, it was a victim of disinformation and misinformation. Just to be clear, the IBA has not banned opinion polls.
Right.
Now we hear that the IBA has also banned parallel voter tabulation. We have not said anything, and we are not involved in that process. But just to be clear, the IBA has not banned opinion polls. What we have just said is that, and again, this is consistent with the Electoral Commission of Zambia Code of Conduct, to ensure that there's disclosure of sources, sponsors, sample size, margins of error, and other relevant information that go with opinion polls. That's all we have said. Then coverage of polling day. This again is in line with the Electoral Code of Conduct. This talks to the prohibition of campaign interviews for political parties or candidates and the prediction of election results on polling day. Then there's also guidelines on the announcement of election results. Again, this is also consistent with what is provided for in the Code of Conduct. That, announcement of election results should be based only on verified and officially confirmed information. Last but not least, Ambassador, is complaints handling procedures. So, in the normal, I spoke to handling of complaints in a routine, situation. We expect the station to handle those complaints within 14 days. And then if not, they are escalated to us. We're also supposed to resolve them in 14 days. In this case, Ambassador, what we are saying is that we are requiring broadcast stations to respond a bit more rapidly to election-related complaints, and they should do that within 2 days. And then we, as the authority, we are also expected to review these complaints and conclude investigations within 4 days and issue appropriate directives where necessary. So this is really
very clear. So all the media stations have got these guidelines.
Yes, we have shared. We actually, before we announced them to the public, we shared them directly with all the stations.
And the political parties have got these guidelines.
We have also written to different entities and sharing with them on these guidelines.
Really, this is burning issue. My guest, Webster Malindo, who is the Director General of IBA. You can call in now and ask the DG any pertinent issues that you have. The number to call us, 055 221515. 055 2215. Sorry? 095. I'm being corrected. 0955 2215 15. That is the number, to call us. And I guess it would just be too delighted, to deal, with any, of the questions. 0955 2215 15. Do we have somebody on the line? Excellent. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, how are you? What is your name, sir?
Yeah, I'm okay and blessed this morning.
Thank
you.
you.
Are talking to Mr. Chilonda.
Thank
Morgan.
you. All right, Morgan, please go ahead and ask Mr. Malindo, who is the DG for
What a wonderful morning, brand new day. So I hope all of you are blessed by God. So
go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, the point is that I had that gentleman. He was in Phoenix on Tuesday, and now I've seen him on Fame. So the point what I want to say is that, I was listening right now. I was listening on Hot FM with customers and busy. So the point what I'm talking about, they're also talking about the similar issue we are talking about. Intimidation during campaign time of the journalist. So for me, my point, what I want to say is that, as a regulator of media houses, what jurisdiction do you have? Because we have seen other political parties, as we are going toward the election, say, no, we have been sidelined. No, this song was banned because of, it have got some issues. We have heard that. Now, the point what I'm saying, we have got the rules of the media. I know that the moderator is a veteran media professional. He knows how to broadcast. So, for me, what I'm saying is that, in previous time, Prime TV was suspended. Other radios suspended because of not following certain rules. So for me, what I'm saying that you as a media house, just follow the rules and make sure that you cover professionally. We know that there's the opposition and ruling party because Zambia is a democratic country. We need also to cover all the people's choice, Whatever you're going, as long as
Thank you, Morgan.
is out, you start talk about them.
Thanks, Morgan. I would like our listeners to be short, and precise, when you are asking a question so that we can give time, for others. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name, please?
Yes, I'm Mr. Sakala calling you from Kabul.
Yes, Mr. Sakala, please go ahead. Be brief.
Thank you. IBA Chairman, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you. My question is direct to the media fraternity. I want to find out some media station, like radio station. These presenters, sometimes when it comes in terms of this time as the politics are going on, you find that they take sides. If someone calls as the way I've just called, you find that this other one is given maybe more minutes to talk, and this other one, when he calls to other party, is going maybe is given a few minutes, and he says, no, wind up. What can that person do to such a representer? And the other question is that these journalists, when they go to cover maybe these campaign issues, you find that maybe his report or reputation, he was not good of the other function, the other party, but he wants to cover it. So those are things which brings the problem which I've just seen, because these journalists, to say the facts, sometimes they don't work free and fair, to say fairness, coverage. What can you do with such journalists?
Thank you.
Those are my questions.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Cab. We're there. 0955 221515. 0955 221515. This is the burning issue. My guest, DG IBA. Good morning.
Good morning. Ambassador,
Thank you. Your name, please, and the question quickly.
Governor Chanda, we just arrived at Intercity Terminals. I've not even put my bag down as I'm talking.
All right, please go ahead.
Everyone is listening to it.
Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Firstly, I would love to commend that gentleman in the studios. He's so calm. To be interviewed by veteran journalists like you, it's not easy, Frank. So he's so calm, answering questions the way they should be answered. That's good. You have just, in your answering, you said President Ichirema ascended to the view where even ZNPC will be regulated, which is so good, meaning we have the executive that is transparent, allowing you to work freely. This is what we need. Regulate every song. That's what I'm saying. Regulate every message that is hateful in order for us to have a country that is peaceful, a country that is okay, a country that goes to the elections and comes back peaceful the way we are under one commander, President HH. Thank you.
Thank you. To take in one more, then DG can, answer, can respond. 0955-2215. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Your name, please?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Frankie.
Morning. Your name, please, and quickly with the question. Hello? We've lost the caller. 0955-221515. 0955-221515. This is the Thursday edition of the Burning Issue. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mtubila.
Morning. Your name, sir, and your question quickly.
Good morning, Mr. Malindo. My name is Kabuita Nusaka. Thank you for...
Can you repeat the name again, please?
My name is Kabuita.
Kabuita, yes. All right. Please go ahead, sir.
All right. First, Mr. Malindo, I would like to find out about the IBA. I know that your institution is governed by the Act of Parliament. But then, do you also, are you mandated also to look into the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation broadcasts, or it's just independent media, in this case, the private media? And then also there is what is obtaining in our country. I would like to find out your take on what is the state of the media, because recently there were the observers from the United States of America, including the United Nations, who think that the media in Zambia is not free at all. It's being gagged by the governors of the land. So I'd like to find out from you as the IBA Director General, what is the state of the media? I know you are also a media practitioner or a journalist by profession. So I would like you to give an honest answer to this question. Thank you so much.
Thank you for those, 4 questions. If you can quickly, sort out those, questions, DG, and then after that we can take in, 4, other, callers. This is a burning issue on, Thursday. My guest, again, is the Director General of, IBA. Those, 4 questions of intimidation, taking sides, the act of ZMBC, and the report, that the media is gagged. 4 questions.
Okay, thank you. Can I take this? Thank you so much for those questions. We'll start with the first one that was Mr. Chilonda Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he spoke to what we are doing about intimidation of journalists during this period, campaign period, I believe, election time. So we've done a few things. We have also continued to engage the leadership of political parties on the need to also engage with their members, particularly those that might be aggrieved with, maybe some stations, maybe they are not happy with certain programming or what has been said about their political party. What we have continued to encourage the political leadership of different parties is to say, just do have the opportunity, as long as what has been said is not, libelous, defamatory. If they are making claims that you can also counter, and then reach out to the station and be given the opportunity, as opposed to taking the route of intimidation of media professionals, in some unfortunate cases, violence. Ambassador, we have also, a few weeks ago, we actually had a session with the Zambia Police Command, including the Inspector General of Police himself and his entire senior team, where we also reiterated the need, for us to work closely with the Zambia Police Service to guarantee the safety and security of media professionals during this period. And the police command did, through the Inspector General himself, did assure us that they had also planned around the need to, obviously, in addition to their broader mandate to safeguard our, safety and security as citizens, they will also take particular interest in the safety and security of media professionals. So that was that. Mr. Sakala speaks to that, sometimes radio station presenters do take sides in their, how they handle maybe interviews, especially during this season of elections. What we are saying is that, again, Ambassador, I'll reiterate what we've provided for in the guidelines. We are saying to media professionals, particularly presenters and moderators, that as you host your guests, your political guests, whether they are representing political parties, they are candidates, or they are independent candidates or candidates of political parties, what we are saying is that in what you are doing, be fair, be impartial. And I think Mr. Sakala did allude to the need for equitable and fair access, by all practitioners, by all those who are contending in elections. Then I think he spoke to the need for the integrity of information. We are saying that, again, those guidelines that we've issued, they speak to the need for information verification, for reporting on facts, for reporting, accurately. And those are the areas that we've pointed out in the guidelines. Governor Chanda, I think he was encouraging us to continue to regulate, to do our work in line with the IBA Act, so that our licensees, the broadcast stations, continue to do their work in a way that is aligned to the law. And indeed, Mr. Governor Chanda, we have also encouraged in the guidelines for the need for media houses, to be truthful, and also to avoid messaging that could border on, hate speech, tribalism, and all those ills. So that is, our response to Mr. Chanda's question. Mr. Kabwita, I think he has two questions. One is whether we do look into ZNBC when it comes to regulations. Yep. Ambassador, Mr. Kabwita might have missed the earlier part of our conversation, where I did confirm that in December last year, our Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, did sign into law the new IBA Act number 25 of 2025 that act is yet to be operationalized. When it becomes effective, then IBA will have regulatory oversight on ZNBC and other public broadcaster.
Yeah.
He asked about the state of media in Zambia. We, as I said earlier, Ambassador, we see that the Zambian media remains vibrant, and I think it's growing, as we said earlier. I did allude to the fact that from one commercial station, private commercial station in 1996, 30 years ago, Ambassador, today we are looking at 259 stations.
Amazing.
Yes, and so, and the country has a mix of these stations. So we do have obviously, some challenges. Sometimes it's on the side of infrastructure in these media houses that we regulate. When it comes to content, again, we continue to guide through content and programming standards. And we are seeing that also media houses continue to show a lot of resilience in their work, despite some of the operating environment, some of the challenging operating environment. So that will be our take.
Excellent. My guest on the burning issue, Webster Malindo, Director General of IBA, 0955-2215-15. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Please speak up, sir. What is your name? And quickly ask the question.
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning. Your
My
name?
name is Harry Banda.
Harry Banda. Yes,
I
sir.
just want to find out from first, good morning, Ambassador. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you.
Why we would like to have program schedules, especially for TV stations, so that we can actually plan our viewing. Because currently, we are just watching these stations haphazardly. We don't even know what time certain programs coming. So it would be nice to see that at least there could be some program schedules, maybe weekly or monthly, whatever. Thank you.
I agree with you entirely. 0955-2215-15. Good morning. 0955-2215-15. This is the Thursday edition of the burning, issue. We're looking at issues, pertaining to media. My guest is the Director General of, IBA, Webster Malindo. 095-2215-15. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Franklin Twitter.
Morning. Your name, please?
Oh, my name is Mr. Banda.
Mr. Banda.
Yes.
What is it? I ni msanga.
Okay. Being an advocate of peace in Zambia during these elections, but I fear that maybe when we are on the podium, maybe it could be the president who will be talking evil of the other. I mean, talking bad of whatever you'll be speaking. And the other one tries to answer what the president has said. And then arresting that one. Also today, also arresting the commander or founder of that debate. This is my question. Because the president is usually most of the speeches are fixed off. That's what I wanted to know.
Thank you very much, sir. 0955-2215-15. 0955-2215-15. This is the Thursday edition of the burning issue. 0955-2215-15 is the number to call us if you'd like to participate. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Frank.
Good morning. Your name and question, please.
This is Mrs. Sam calling from Chingola.
How is Chingola?
Chingola is very well, thank you, this morning.
Excellent. What is your question?
Okay. Good morning, Director General.
Good morning.
Can you get me?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. We can get you.
Okay. The director talked about regulating the media. Something like that. One time, my 6-year-old son asked me, "Mommy, have you ever seen a girl kissing another girl?" So I said, "No, I haven't." And he told me, "In the song." So I don't know if like the musicians just bring their content to the authority, or they just get them directly to the studios and all that. I hope you can look into that. Maybe you check their content before they get them straight to the media houses, so that we avoid some things like that. I don't know how you look at that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 221515 0955 221515. This is 5FM on a Thursday with Burning Issue. 0955 221515 is the number to call us if you'd like to participate in this program, Burning Issue. Do we have somebody on the line? 0955 221515. Call us now if you'd like to participate. As we wait for the caller, the gentleman asked about program schedule, and I think the last person talked about content. Did you?
Yes. Thank you, Ambassador, and thank you. That was Mr. Harry Banda who asked whether the stations can provide program schedules.
Let me interrupt you, and I think we've got a caller. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Frank.
Morning. Your name, please?
My name is Kefas Mwapemsonda, an advocate for industrialization and national development, calling you from Kabwe.
Excellent. Please quickly go ahead.
Director, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Msonda.
Thank you very much. I think, first of all, Frank, I want to be honest with the Zambian people that the IBA has been consistent. In the past 5 years, we have not seen much of the intimidation that we usually saw, especially during this period of time when we are in an election period. I want to commend you, IBA, for what you are doing. Whenever there is a problem, you advise, just like you advised. We do not need to divide this country because of the 90-day period that has come. We do not need to be preaching hate. We need to be preaching peace. And I want to commend you that during the 5 years, I think we have seen even an increase in terms of radio stations, local content that has been created, which is the greatest and most important thing. Information is power, and information comes to the people. And when people are able to get information at the same particular time, it is great for national development. Otherwise, all I can say is we need peace in this year's election under the charge of President Hakainde Hichilema. And you people that have been given the privilege to be institutional directors or leaders, please have the vision of the president, because he's president for all Zambians. Thank you.
Thank you. 0955 221515 0955 2215 We're taking about 2-3 calls, and then we can call it a day. 0955. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mtuvira.
Morning. Your name, please?
Mr. Mazuwa.
Yes, Mr. Mazuwa. Very quickly.
Yes. Yeah, mine is just one quick one. On the music that we are playing. There are many studios in our compound. We play the songs that they play in the jukebox. You find they are very sportive, the gangster kind of. I think this is also influence. It's what you are against our couch. And the couch of South Sea, gangster kind of stuff. What is IBA doing? IBA in that context.
I didn't get that, but maybe you can help.
You.
Yeah, as you discussed that. 0955 221515 0955 221515 0955 2215. Good morning.
Order. Francis Mumbempika East Monamubi is calling you from Lusaka Town. Good morning to you, Frank.
Morning. Please go ahead. Please go ahead quickly.
And our guest, good morning to you. Well, quickly. According to my conspectors on today's issue, good topic, and the man in the studio speaking well, and very educative, and the Zambians, let us learn to follow what the IBA rules has put across, and let us learn, those who do not understand, do the correct thing. Now, I'll tell you one thing. On radio, there are people who are there to give an honest opinion. There are others who are there for distraction. There are others who just call. They don't even follow what the topic is. Those are some people that usually get cut in radio program, because I've been doing this radio calling over 10 years now, and I understand it very well. If you go into a radio station, the moderator said, this is the topic, you're bringing other topics. They'll cut you definitely, or they'll censure you to say, this is not the topic we're talking about, stick to the topic. They're not following, you want to follow what you think should be, the way things should be. They'll cut you off. So some have taken it like, no, we're not being allowed to do certain things here. It's how you go about things. And also, to the callers, I want to censure them. Whenever there's a program that is starting, there's a thing that says the views of what are the views of the caller, not the radio station. What does that mean? Every caller should take responsibility. Whatever you say, if you do the wrong thing, you say things that will bring the day of the country into ridicule, you find yourself in court. Not only in court, in prison for that matter. So nobody forces anybody to go on radio, to call or to do blogging. If you do the wrong thing, definitely you end up behind bars. So as I conclude, for me, I think IBA continue monitoring and advising, but as citizens, let us take responsibilities, because countries like Rwanda, for example, went towards genocide because of one or two cantankerous people who misled the people, and then there was a genocide there. So even here, if we're not regulated and we're not followed to do what is correct here and there, we end up doing the wrong thing. But if you call and follow a topic, nobody will ever cut you or deny you a space in any radio station. The moderators are very, very good in most of the stations that I've come across. If you do a wrong thing, they don't care who you are, they'll cut you if you are saying the wrong thing. If you follow the topic and say the correct thing the way they should be said, then it's not a problem. You will not have any problem. I beg to adjust me, Francis Mumbi. Mwana Mumbi is just signing off. Thank you.
Isn't it nice when a listener does your job? You know, you're absolutely fantastic. We're taking one final caller. 0955-221515. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mutubira.
Morning.
My name is Peter. There's one question I want to find out. There was a time, I think last year, when IBA said...
the reception again. You know, Peter, try and
so, what's your pick as IBA? Thank you.
Did you get that? No. Peter, hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, please repeat the question. Thank you.
The question is, there are programs on some private radio stations which doctors advertise for their services. IBA had said these should not be allowed, but we have seen them continue. What's your take on that one?
Sweetie. Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay, thank you very much, Peter. All right, then, okay. Yeah, I think we're almost done. Let's try just one more caller. And then, I think it's important to give callers an opportunity. Good morning.
Hello.
Morning. You are you are last caller. Your name, please.
Good morning. This is HH. Morning, you are Frank.
Morning. You're supposed to be in State House. What are you doing on radio?
Yes. Good morning from the IBA. Good morning there.
Good morning, sir.
I think I would like to talk about the programs that are being brought on different media stations like radio. You find that you bring these programs for the citizens of this nation to listen and contribute. And when they attack, sometimes when time comes for contributions via call or voice notes, we hear some people, especially the politicians, calling some people that they are political sponsored cadres. I think that's not the right term to use. You come to the program to be questioned, to be interviewed, especially on this nation like we are going to elections. What are you going to do to the people? And when someone asks a question, you have to clarify. If you don't have an answer, keep quiet. Why should they call someone as a sponsored political cadre? That's not right. I think they should be trained. If someone will go to radio and speak like that, then they are not ready to lead the nation from different walks of society of this nation. And another issue, Mr. Mutubira, I'm appealing to you. I'm a very concerned Zambian citizen, especially this election that is coming. People are dancing to songs. I don't hear any message that is there in these songs. I don't hear any message that is going to talk about the reduction of fuel, that is catering a lot of people problems. I don't hear anything that is talking about how they are going to do with electricity, reducing electricity. If the drought is coming again, what are they going to do? If you can give me an opportunity, even 10 minutes is enough for me to speak on a platform like that. I'm a Zambian citizen. I'm concerned and I'm affected. I want to ask all these political parties and the other citizens that can contribute at that time, please invite me. I don't have money to pay. If you have a free air, please invite me.
Thank you. Oh my God! Two guys who have made my job very easy today, and I thank both of you. Quickly, those questions, DG. Then we can call it a day.
Thank you, Ambassador. The first question was from Mr. Harry Banda, who was asking if broadcast stations have program schedules. They do have program schedules. I think I can commit that we will engage all the stations. I believe particularly maybe television stations.
You can actually encourage them. DG, they can do barter arrangement with the print.
Yeah,
we used to do that in the past, and every day there will be a program schedule.
And even on their social media platforms, we will work with the stations to see if we can encourage them to develop, maybe the habit of just sharing the program schedules. Maybe especially those programs they feel of more interest to their audiences. I think Mr. Banda spoke I didn't hear him, but I heard him start by talking about the need for peace in Zambia. That's all I got. The lady from Chingola, I didn't get the name, but I think she was asking if we review or preview songs that are aired. We do not. But we have issued some guidelines, particularly on songs and music. I think she was referring to some recent musical video. But we, on the background of that, we did issue some guidance that the stations should take, more care when it comes to, musical expressions that end up on the stations. And that they should bear in mind the need not to compromise or erode our values and cultures as a nation. And we are also actually engaging at the moment with faith-based organizations. At the moment with the Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia around how we can start to enforce more around especially musical content or advertising. That borders on issues of our national values and our culture. So yes, we do not preview, but we have issued guidelines. Mr. Kefas Mwapemusonda, I think he was basically complimentary of our work, but he also spoke to the fact that we've given a lot more stations in the last few years. It is very important, I think, for context. We want to make sure that we are driving pluralism and diversity in the sector, so audiences have wider choices, but also we can meet the information needs of every citizen everywhere in Zambia. Mr. Mazuva was talking about I think if I heard it's music which is played in the residential areas, whether it's in public places, he's talked to jukeboxes, and we don't really have control there as IBA. We would hope that other authorities,
there's the council,
maybe the council, if they are listening, maybe they can take interest in that, and they can work with other bodies. Mr. Francis Mumbi. I think he was also complimented. I believe he spoke to, but I think he said that he was encouraging both callers and presenters to do their work responsibly. So, but thank you for your encouragement. Peter talked to programming that border on supernatural power claims.
Yeah.
I won't call them the way Uncle Frank has called them. For my own safety.
I know most of them. They're my friends there. They understand. Vongo, Dr. Vongo. I don't know whether you're listening. Yeah, please go ahead.
So, Ambassador, in fact, as a matter of fact, we've also been engaging with, including the association that is led by Dr. Vongo, on the need to safeguard audiences from manipulative messages and harmful, in fact, sometimes harmful, manipulative, because people are losing money, and some people are taking themselves out of conventional treatment because some of these people who claim to have supernatural powers are telling them that all they need to do is this and that, and then they are cured from their chronic illness. Some are taught that, they do this and that, and then suddenly they will be millionaires. So we have also issued guidelines. But please, Peter, if you know of any station that continues to do this, please feel free to write to us with the details of the station and the program. And then we will, take up the matter further. But we have discouraged all the stations, and we've issued again advisory that they should guard against content that borders on manipulating audiences. And these people who claim special supernatural powers are part of that. Yes. And then I think we had someone who said they were Mr. HH.
Yes,
They just said that, and I think they spoke to programming on radio and contributions by callers, and I think that there were suggestions that some police sponsored, some people who call are sponsored. What we just want to say is that as the IBA, we respect the freedoms that are guaranteed in the Constitution, freedom of expression being one of those. The only thing we say is that, to the stations is that be accessible to all those who want to express themselves on any matters, not just elections. But also we say that if you are going to call, please observe the rules. Do not come here to utter obscenities, to make, hate speech, to make claims against others where you have no proof. That is all that the guidance that we say, but we continue to encourage stations also to consider, the rights of the public to have the opportunity to come and express themselves on the stations.
Excellent. Your final message, your brief final message, especially directed at our media fraternity and the rest of the country, listeners, and viewers.
So thank you, Ambassador. The media in general and the broadcasting sector in particular plays a vital role in Zambia's democracy and development. As a regulator, our objective is not to restrict the freedoms of broadcasters, but to work with them to create an environment where they can operate freely, responsibly, sustainably, and while serving the broader public interest. So we take this opportunity to encourage all broadcasters to continue to uphold, the highest professional standards, and to all citizens to actively engage with the media, as we said earlier, do so responsibly. We believe that together, we as a regulator and the broadcast industry, we can work together to build a broadcasting sector, that informs, that educates, and that empowers the nation.
I got a last question. It's a surprise question, which I pose to my guests, when we end. When we leave this studio, like we will do right, very shortly, and you meet Jesus, outside, what kind of conversation would you conduct with Jesus?
Well, it's a difficult one, but one thing that I would be keen about is to learn about whether I did, live my life to his expectations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for doing a great job. This is a thankless, job, which you and me are in, but somebody has to do it. And it was great, on the program to hear, some words of encouragement, from people. Thank you, to you and to your staff, and all the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for this opportunity. It was really, I think, an honor to engage with you and through this platform with the people of Zambia.
I thank my guest, Webster Malindo, who is the Director General of IBA. And let me just remind those people with God-given hands, that I've got my birthday celebrations on the 13th of June, although my date of birth is 16th of June. I always, I think for the last 5 years, celebrate with my good friends, the orphans at Kabwata Orphanage. And as you know, people tell me that I'm a senior orphan, since I was 9 years old. So we raise money to whatever, the Trade Kings has come in with some goodies, so if you want to support, please, I would really, really appreciate, so that you can make my good friends happy at Kabwata. Thank you to the musicians who have come, in to provide some entertainment for free. My good friend Ponchano, my good friend Biflo, and Esther Chungu, the lady I respect a lot. And there's another guy I've forgotten. He plays a saxophone. Finally, my good friends, the brave men, all roads lead to Miracle Life. This Saturday, the whole day, to hear the words of encouragement from all the wonderful speakers, including our senior speaker, Pastor Walker. Thank you for listening, today. Thank you again on behalf of my guest, Webster Malindo, Director General of IBA. My good friends here at 5FM and all the associate radio stations across the country. And of course, BMTV. I love you all. This song, which I love very much. These are the kind of songs that keep me sane, that deal with my stress. This is a very stressful job, I can tell you. This one is called I Remain from Chandler Moore. And I remain loyal to you, all my listeners. Frank Mutubila. Good morning.
Views and opinions expressed on this